All right, guys, episode 6 of the Spoken Podcast. I am here today with Daen from King Brown. How are you, mate?
Very good, mate. Very good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I know you're a very busy man, so it's brilliant to have you on and have a good catch up, mate. It's been too long, hasn't it?
It has been bloody COVID.
So yeah, I know, terrible COVID. So what we'll do before we start going into our yarn, we'll do our top 5 songs first, which I know this man has been stressing out about, as have I. So, because I just literally did it about 2 seconds ago. So
it's hard to narrow it down, mate.
Mate, it's impossible, right?
Alright, I'll give you the 5, but I'm going to tell you why just give you the reason why I chose the 5.
You can do if you want, or even just one if you wanted to.
Okay,
it's up to you.
I may as well. I'll give you one.
Or your number 1 out of the list.
I'm not giving you a number 1.
Right.
Put it, there's a group. Alright, I had, obviously being a proud Aussie, I had to have an Aussie band, so I got In Excess, Heaven Sent, which was, the reason why I chose that song is it was made famous to me on some classic old surf movies, Green and White, I think it was from memory, back when I was a kid, which I watched religiously about 1 million times, and I believe the song was actually written, he wrote it about Helena Christensen, who I served when I worked at Brothers Nielsen when I was 15 years old.
Wow.
So, which was pretty hot. So
Yeah, I was going to say.
So that was my time back. What I had, I'm going to show my age here. I had Young MC Fastest Rhyme.
I'm going to show my age. Dane's like late 20s, alright guys? So it's not too bad.
My kids are late 20s. So Young MC Fastest Rhyme, I used to just sit in my room and try and spit that rhyme.
Oh, that is amazing.
So, I had a crazy Sublime obsession, so I had Sublime What I Got.
Sick.
I was super obsessed with them. Same thing, but a lot of surf-orientated videos, and I just was into the whole punk, ska, California movement when I was a kid. Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name.
Oh, it's a classic.
It's a beauty.
Such
it's
a
the
classic.
one that no matter, if you're feeling a bit tired, you want to get revved up, you're a bit angry, you want a bit of vent. It's like, it ticks all the boxes.
It's a song for everything.
No, I ended up seeing it that big day out, and I was up against the front of the barrier, and it was just the best thing I've ever seen. I was just
how good's that?
Psycho. And this one's a bit left of field, and I'm going to get laughs about it. It was Destiny's Child, Say My Name. I was obsessed with Beyonce when that song came out. And I remember I was living with my girlfriend, now wife, and it used to come on, and I used to just drop everything and watch that clip. And I just remember saying, and she still repeats, she goes, "You used to say this chick is going to be so famous one day."
Yeah.
I got it right, but I didn't
just
marry,
a little bit.
Didn't marry.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So this is, you could not have summed up perfectly with that song. Why we do this part of this podcast? So everyone's like, yeah, okay. So now you basically know exactly what Dane's like, which is perfect. So that sums you up. That literally sums you up.
Yeah, good way up.
Obviously in a good way. All right, cool. Mine are, I've gone a bit of a mixture here again. So I've gone, because Dane put me off, I've gone the Beatles yesterday.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, no, I've gone Papa Loves Mambo by Perry Combo.
Oh my god!
I know. See what I mean? I was doing classics. I told you.
That's oh man, if I'm too sexy to do it,
no, it's not. I kept it out. I had to run it out. I've gone Dakota by Stereophonics.
Wow.
Easy by Kanye West, which is new, and then I've gone Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra.
Oh wow, that's sick. I'm a big Frank. Like
Yeah.
I said before, I said I was random because I love Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
I love so much stuff.
Well, I could just pick 5 Frank Sinatra songs, but I thought I won't. I'll do that.
Nice.
I'll be very professional.
Very diverse. I like it.
Yeah, I know. That's what we are, mate. You know.
You did say Craig David though.
I know. But I would say that anybody who knows me would go, I can't believe he didn't put Craig David.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that'll be in the next one.
Okay, next time I come in, I want you to see this facial grooveology.
Mate, I could
chin
do
line,
that.
chin strap.
I could do the chin strap. It would probably hide about my 40 chins that I've got. All right, cool. So let's get into it.
Easy.
Let's go from younger ages, probably leaving school. What was the career path which you chose? What did you want to go down?
Mate, all I want to do, I graduated in 95 of high school, and then mate, all I want to do is work in the surf industry. So my uncle was a designer for Quicksilver. I got an uncle who's a younger uncle who's like 12 years older, and he was a designer for Quicksilver. So I did my grade 10 work experience at Quicksilver in Sydney, and then I got my first job when I was 13, 14, working at the Brothers Nielsen surf stores, and then moved into assistant manager roles with them and the likes. And then when I left school, I worked for the surf stores or for Brothers Nielsen for a number of years, and then I got poached and became a sales rep for Rusty actually for about 7 or 8 years, and that was kind of my career trajectory was down that way. I mean, this isn't the peak of the surf industry.
Yeah,
back end of the peak, I should say. So, and living on the Gold Coast, mate,
exactly.
It was like a lifestyle job. So, mate, I just want to do that. So I worked for Rusty for a long time, and then I ended up moving to Japan. Then got a job off in Sydney running DC Shoes down there, and then did that, and then ended up moving across and doing national sales for a surf streetwear company called Insight. And it's just kind of bled into multiple things. I've had an agency up here with a partner. We helped launch brands like Thrills and got Dickies back on the map up here, and did Pocky Eyewear. We've done full on Broken Street hats. I've done many labels, and then we did a lot of consulting as well. And that was kind of, mate, that was always the career trajectory. But then we all saw, I think anyone who was in the industry up here started to see a decline in the surf side of it and moving into other things. So they just, I suppose, essentially opened up my horizons to looking into other aspects.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
that's really cool. Yeah. So am I right in saying, let's see if my stats are right, 8 or 9 years you've been open, King Brown?
King Brown, it would be now. Sorry, it was September 20. So we started the brand in 2013. But we launched September 2014.
Yeah.
So
unreal.
So time's flying.
I know. I actually looked at that because I was like, I never do facts or anything for people, right? But I'm like, I actually wouldn't mind knowing when that was actually started. That's pretty amazing.
We're 2 years. We're 10 years. So essentially, it's 8 years this year. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, stoked.
So I first met Daen at the Barber Expo 4 years ago.
2, 3, 4 years, before.
Jeez, which seems very long.
Yeah.
But it was quite funny. We had 2 students as the Barber Academy, which I've told this story plenty of times to everyone. But Daen was actually in the stall next to us. And I was just like in awe of the stall, going like, how cool does this look? How good's that? And he was probably thinking, do you mind shutting the fuck up? Like, seriously? And I'm like, oh, can I have a look at that? Can I have a look at this? I was very new to everything in the barber world then. But yeah, it was a 2-day event. And I remember Daen going, oh, you should stay up here on the Saturday night. And I was like, I don't know, I think I'll just drive back on the Sunday. And yeah, I think I rocked up on Sunday and there was no one there.
No.
And I was like, looking around going, where is everyone? And I think one of the staff members was like, oh, did you not go out last night? And I went, no. And they said, oh, they won't be here for another hour or two. And I remember, it was, I actually wasn't going to go up on the second day because of my fear of snakes, which you found hilarious. I know. So, Daen decided to do, again, great marketing. I'll just bring in some snakes, King Brown, obviously, and get some really cool photos and stuff like that. It was amazing. That was cool. Everyone who I speak to.
We love. I mean, it was one of the, I suppose, the catches we said to the guys when they were organising the event. They wanted us to come along and have a stand. I said, we'll do it, but as long as I can bring live snakes. And they were like, what the actual fuck are you talking about? And I said, no, we're bringing in snakes. We've got a snake handler coming in, and we want people to get photos. They can come up, and it said because we kind of knew, as you found out, it was the first expo. We were a bit unsure of what the attendance would be like. So if we're going to do something, let's make a bit of a scene.
Absolutely.
And where I suppose as anyone who follows King Brown knows that we probably do things a little bit left of centre sometimes. So it was one of those ones where like, let's do something we know no one else can emulate,
Absolutely.
no one else can do. It suits our brand. So look, we just wanted to have fun. I mean, I love talking shop, but I don't need to talk shit all day.
It was so good. It was so good. I should get Pete to edit the photo of me in there because you can just see how much I shit my pants with the snake on me. Mate, it sends tingles down my spine thinking about it now. But
an hour lead up, it was the most fun I've had teasing someone for a while.
Just like that, sweating. I was like, nah, I need to get out of here. So it was very cool. I mean, again, that opened I probably haven't even told you this before, but that opened my eyes up to the actual industry of barbering, and I was like, geez, how cool is this? I was like, this is like one of the main products which I've heard of, bearing in mind I'd only been cutting about 6 months before it. And I was like, how cool is that? Now again, I know I said this to you on the day, but just how like open you were with me as well. And you were just like as if we'd known each other for years. And I think that's you in general, but it was awesome because I think I could have easily got taken advantage of that day because I was just like that, like, oh yeah, you should come and work with us. You should do this. You should do that. So it was awesome to have somebody like that, protective, kind of like, you're right. Just enjoy the day, mate. Just enjoy the day. So
it was good fun. It was a good opportunity for us all to obviously workshop and meet new people and stuff. And it was, I think it was. Hopefully, we obviously everything's been stifled by the last few years with the pandemic, but hopefully things will open up and we get the opportunity to do that sort of stuff and those workshops a bit more often.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know it's one thing which everybody in the industry talks about. Yeah. They're always like, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. It's just actually getting together and doing it. So fingers crossed.
Always easier said than done.
Yes, I know, exactly. I mean, it was only a small event, right? I mean, 2 days.
I know.
Oh my goodness, good times. Anyway, all right. Let's get into, I know one thing we spoke about was obviously the trends in barbering, how it's constantly changing. So what's one thing which kind of how do you guys even keep up with the trends?
Look, I think historically for us, I mean, the good thing about, or the one thing that we've been fortunate, it's a bit of a catch-22, is myself and my business partner, we're not barbers. We came out of the fashion game and the marketing game. Yep. So the pro side of that for us is we're very open to I suppose interpreting influence from overseas and what's happening. So, and because we're not in our own barbershop or in one area, we're not essentially one-eyed as to what's going on in that region. We're always looking. I mean, for example, before the pandemic hit, I think my business partner and I had personally been in personally and collectively between the two of us been in 450 barbershops globally. Wow. So we had a lot of intel, that we take back. And don't get me wrong, when you walk into one area or you go to one region, both domestically and internationally, and it's all about, I mean, talking years ago, it was all about a certain type of cut, whether it be a slip back then or it moved into the mullets or moved in. And that's great, but you can't, as a brand, you can't just be that one trick pony.
Exactly.
And we were that for a long while because the brand did start slow. We launched purposely with an oil-based product, which we knew was the hardest product to sell and the slowest selling in the market, but to us it was the most important one to get right and to launch with because it was a foundation product.
Absolutely.
So back to the trend type thing. For example, we launched our mat back in 2016, I think it was. 2016, I can't remember now. And we launched it just off the back of looking at fashion blogs and fashion trends and what was happening overseas in Europe, particularly in the UK. And everything was all slipbacks and side part pomps and stuff. And then suddenly overnight, it just went into crops and textured haircuts. And we'd already developed our mat product and we were holding it.
Yeah.
And then we just went, shit, you know what, go now.
100%.
And we put it out to market and we're too early. It didn't sell. It sat on the shelves for 5-6 months and people were still going, where's your high shine? We're going, trust us. Matt's coming, and they're like, you guys are off your heads. You're tripping. And then we were like, but we believed in what we're doing and everything. It was just, we just knew we hit the curb too early. So that's still to date, that's what we do. We've rounded the range out. Our styling range consists of 7 products now. It caters from light to heavies. It caters from people with thin hair to thick hair, curly hair, straight hair. I mean, we cross all the genres now. So but we've also got I think the biggest part is adapting the product or educating people how they can adapt those products to go with the new trends. We don't need to have a range, and some of our competitors do with 30 different types of product.
Exactly.
It's just it cannibalizes each other. It confuses the consumer. It confuses the barbers. We go in a lot of shops, and particularly some of the shops that have a lot of products. The barbers sit there and you ask them a question about a product, and their eyes roll around. They got no idea.
Absolutely.
So we wanted to try and limit that as being an issue with our brand. So that's what we kind of do. So now we work, I suppose, a bit more closely with distributors and our ambassadors to gauge where the trends are going and then how we then communicate that. And we're getting better at it.
Yep.
We're definitely not the best in the market at it, but we're trying to get better at it in making sure that we translate these trends and opportunities and how King Brown obviously relates to that sort of stuff too. Because as we discussed prior to the podcast being switched on, is we're seeing a shift now. I'm seeing a massive shift back to classics.
Yep.
So and this is. I love it because this is what we established the brand on.
Exactly.
And I'm like, yes.
100%. Well, that's what I was actually going to say. I was thinking about it in the car on the way here this morning. I'm like, isn't it funny? Like, literally all of your products suit where the market's going.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought, how cool is that you have products which can do that as well?
Yeah,
because
totally.
yeah, it's I mean, it's something so hard for us, as I was saying, in education, because it's like we've constantly got to be like, oh no, that's not in style now.
No, no.
But we've also got to teach stuff like, for example, in the hairdressing, we teach perming, and
Yeah.
it's like every salon's going, we don't perm anymore, and I'm like, you will
be.
next year.
Yeah.
So it's like it's pretty funny how it happens.
Yeah.
It's awesome for the industry, I reckon.
Yeah. We look at, like I said, with the backgrounds that Dan and I have, we look at hair as it should be. It's part of fashion.
Absolutely.
When people tell you that camo's in or cargo's in or out, it's never in or out. It's always in. It's
exactly.
It just happens to be slightly more popular or less popular season to season, and everything's cyclical, right? And it's one of those ones. I mean, we knew that the whole classic slip back side part pomp thing was going to die when every single little kid was in the barbershop getting it done, and we went, okay.
Yeah.
You know, the cooler cats don't want it anymore, and the similar things are happening as we discussed with mullets, and then, I mean, it's they don't go away. They're not uncool. But
yeah, exactly.
You've got to reinvent things, or you've got to, or you've got to see them phase in and out slightly before they can then have the opportunity to be reinvented and just refound. You know,
yeah.
It's something that's old is new to the new generation. You know, so
it is.
Like,
it's so funny.
that's why this is a classic thing when you start off with music, mate. That's old shit, but then to some young kid, that's just this absolute new goal.
Exactly.
You know, like,
They're just like, it's quite funny what makes me giggle, again, completely off topic, but when they bring out these remixes and stuff, like we were talking about the Wiggles, and it's like the younger generation are like, oh my god, that's sick, and I'm like, you should hear the original. The original's amazing. I'm like,
well, that's what I'm saying. My kid's been playing that Cold Heart remix on John on it. That's a great song. But my God, it's just been flogged to death by my 9 and 11-year-old kids. I'm like, I'm sick to death of it.
I love that. That's superb.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Goals for King Brown and goals for Daen.
Mate, well, the last couple of years, we're like everyone. We went into the pandemic, I suppose, a little bit. I just not really knowing where it was going to go and what happened. 2020 was a fun year. It was like, oh wow, what's this thing going on? Lots of downtime, holidays, and we put, as most companies did, I think we put a lot of development and any growth plans on hold. But we'll ride it out, see what happens. 2021 was probably a tougher year again for most people, and obviously it's getting a bit long in the tooth. This whole pandemic lockdown thing, can't travel, all that stuff, because we were traveling a lot for work and everything. So that was a big part of our strategy, was grow domestically and then grow it internationally as well.
Cool.
The good thing though has been for the brand is that as Australia was the shining light of hope, and then we turned out to be not so flash. The rest of the world went through all the shit and then started to open up. So we're opening up some good territories overseas. We've just signed deals with South Korea, Vietnam, some new distribution out of Canada and everything. So that is our long-term goal has always been to get a concise range in the hairstyling category, then grow out, which we've sort of established that now. We've got products in the works now to move into other categories, and then. But then, in doing that, then it creates we're more of an asset to our distribution partners, both to our business like B2B and B2C customers as well. So that's been the plan. So we really have probably taken advantage of the pandemic to work on back end now. And develop these new products, develop back end marketing, work on customer service initiatives, and I suppose strategies to make the brand more of an asset. The more of an asset we can make the brand, the better it is for everyone.
Exactly.
Hopefully, we all make money. So that's all happening, and we've got some really cool stuff in the works, which I'm super excited about. I can't give you details on everything, but there's some really cool, some collabs and some new product categories and different things. And then look, my personal goal is I'm really going to get I want to get way more hands on again.
Sick.
The last 2 years have been like too complacent, just too lazy. So, and I know, but at the same time I took advantage. It was really quite high quality family time for me, and then after a lot of work, because we started King Brown on the smell of an oily rag. I went on the rock and roll for the first time ever in my life with a 2-year-old and a newborn baby, and did the old, asked my wife, said, look, did the old trust me, and it's going to work out.
Love that.
I know. So it was pretty rough, sort of a couple of years getting it up and running, but it's all the hard work sort of paid off. So that's the plan, mate. I just want to get deep and dirty and hands on and get out there and just really promote the brand and utilise the assets we've built, and then also grow a bigger following around the world. People need to know who we are.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
get complacent that everyone knows social media, everyone knows who we are.
I know.
They don't.
Isn't it crazy?
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I was listening to a podcast this morning on the way here with somebody saying that, and it's like you see so many people get like worked up about like, oh, did they see this? Did they see that? Oh, am I getting out to people? Am I getting out to people? And they're like, yeah, there's 8 billion people in this world. If you seriously are getting upset about that,
no,
you're doing the wrong thing. So
no, that's like I said, we need to be back on the road domestically, internationally, all of it. You know, like it's just, and we've had to be cautious even when things open up. And it's from a business perspective, like I can't. It's not worth my while to drive around and see shops when 3/4 of them are closed
Absolutely.
and the other quarter they're open. They've got capacity rules and
Yep.
stuff, you know, you've got to go with masks and the customers don't come to because you're talking by nature of talking to barbers, you're talking in the mirror and you're standing behind the customer.
Yep.
It's quite awkward.
Absolutely.
So we really have to be, you've got to be cautious and courteous to people's businesses and their customers as well. So some people probably looked at it as, I haven't seen them for ages, well sometimes like, well,
I know, it's a bit tricky.
It's very tricky. So.
Well, we go through the same thing, obviously. One of the things when I first mentioned to you, us going out to these barbershops and trying to get apprentices, and it's like, we went through the same thing. We finally felt like we were like nailing something down, and then, I know, we're at capacity, or mate, I'm flat out, or there's only one of us today, and stuff like that. So, which was heaps of fun.
It's par for the course, unfortunately, dealing with barbers, because a lot of them are owner operators. And
exactly.
And the last thing that we would ever want to do is take away their earnings by either taking their time up or pissing off customers.
Absolutely.
So our job's actually to do the absolute opposite.
Yeah.
So is to educate them and help them understand that King Brown, first and foremost, the cutting of the hair is what their business is about, and that's what gets the customers. And King Brown's just an add-on. That's a bonus. You know, that's the extra 20-30% that you get because you're offering that service and that finishing off that service with the customer by recommending them the best product, whether it's our brand or another. I'm not going to say either or, but it's that's part of your duty as a barber, you know, finishing that service and offering the best product so they look shit hot for the next 2 or 3 weeks at least until they come back and see you, and then you know, and then that gives you something to talk about too. What do you think of that product? How did it react with your hair? What do you reckon? And then there's always a peripheral products, sprays and powders and stuff that can always come around it as an additional add-on sort of stuff down the track too, you know. So yeah, it's like I said, we're there to make money and help educate people.
Absolutely.
Making more money and hopefully paying their rents or something, you know, something that bruises their pocket a little bit more.
100%.
So.
I mean, I remember talking to you about this many years ago about how hairdressers are so good at it.
They're amazing.
Like, and I'm just like, that if barbering did that, I'm like, we would not have any dramas. So hopefully, again, like you said, it's the educating them and whatnot.
I think as a guy, to be honest, we were all stunned when we found out that this is what women's hairdressing have been doing for years. 100%. We wondered why we all questioned why our wives were going to spend $300 or $400 bucks and they're coming back with a bit of a buzz on because they've had 3 champagnes and they've been gone for 4 hours. And you're like, what's going on? And then the male equivalent, or the barbershop equivalent, I should say, not male, is you go on, you get your beer, you pay your 30, 50, 40 bucks, whatever it is, and that's, you get that little pampering service, but where we do fall down in barbering is that they just sometimes feel like they don't want to sell. Yeah. Like, it's not selling.
I know.
It's just part of the service.
Exactly.
They say no to you, or to the product, they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting the product, and it's probably more of a personal thing. Yeah. They probably can't afford it. Yeah. They might have a cupboard full of it. Who knows? Like, you don't know. I mean, but if you don't ask, you don't get.
Exactly.
So that's what. As much, I think it's pretty easy for me to say sometimes, because I come from a sales background. Yeah. And I completely understand it because when we deal with barbers and hairdressers, we're dealing essentially with creatives, and that's so we don't ever want to stifle the creativity, but it's just about educating and helping them. And I tell the guys, and not even the bosses, I go, hey, next time you want to hit up your boss, why don't you tell them, hey, I've upped my sales 20%.
And that's exactly right.
This is all the payoff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, can't argue with figures. You
Absolutely.
can't argue with dollars and cents.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if you're doing the same number of cuts this year as you've done last year, and you haven't upped your sales, unfortunately, I know no one's really making any more money. If anything, your boss is probably losing more money because his overhead's probably going up. So. Yep.
But we're trying to keep these to 30 minutes now to make them more kind of interactive and interesting, and then get them out to people. My last question: what would you change? Actually, I got 2 questions, right? Yeah. Sorry. what would you change, or what would you go back and change, I suppose, over the last 8 years that you've had King Brown?
Yep.
Is there anything that stands out? And then is there anything that you would like to see change in the future for barbering the industry?
As far as anything that I'd like to change that we've done, I'd probably suppose that just being low on resources, because we're obviously same thing, we're a family business, you know, we're a software business partner, and we're product development, we're marketing, we're pick pack, we're everything. I mean, obviously the business is growing, we employ people now, which is a different story, but essentially it's still, when it comes to marketing, product development and everything, it's something we handle internally. I probably, personally, I just hung on to that, just panicking it out, letting it go.
Absolutely.
And when I had some good people around me that could have helped, and I probably dropped the ball a little bit, and just trying to handle too much.
Yeah.
Whereas I probably would have done better had I delegated a few things, and it would have cost us more money, but it would have been, the result probably would have been better at the end of the day, because I would have been able to go, okay, well, you know what, rather than me spending 2 weeks obsessing about this marketing initiative, I could be out the road seeing people.
Absolutely.
You know, selling products and that, and helping people in store, and that's it. We're like, I think you can learn from your mistakes. And
Absolutely.
I don't regret any of that stuff, but I definitely think I got so hyper protective of the brand and not wanting to let go.
But this is the thing with that, right? But do you think you would lose people if you said, all right,
for sure. I guess it's like people love dealing with the owner, people love dealing with the boss, and that sort of, and we never let that go. But I definitely I had feedback from people, like from people in marketing and stuff, and like, maybe you should do this and that, and I'm like, nah, that's not us, and we're not doing that, and no. And some of it was 100% the right decision, and some of it was possibly not. Just because I had a bit of burnout, that was it. You know, it was literally, I was just sitting there, I was going, I don't want to post Instagram. I don't want to see anything. I don't want to. You know, you literally get burnt out.
Yeah.
When you live and breathe it all day, every day, and like I said, and starting it from not much, and obviously with the help of Dan, though, because he basically helped finance it.
Yeah.
I sort of came in from more the idea side of it, but same thing was we had enough money to make some tins. We didn't have enough money to be paying.
I love it.
So it's like, if this doesn't work, Dan and I, we have a minimum order on tins was 50,000. I'm like, mate, if this doesn't work, we're going to be at the Burley markets for the next 25 years trying to sell these things.
That would have suited you more, I reckon. You'd love Burley markets.
Sitting down the boardies, no t-shirt, slick back hair.
100%. You would have loved it.
Slick back hair. Mate, as far as changing the industry, look, I think the industry is really solid. I think I think people need to be more open to what's happening, and both trend wise and skill set wise. And I look at it and look at what you guys are doing, and all I see going forward is if you don't know how to use scissors, all right, and start dealing with some longer hair. If you don't know how to start doing colour, if you don't know how to start doing some services outside what's been the norm, I really do think your business is going to be limited. I mean, and that's not to say that that's a bad thing, because it's demographic based and everything as well. But I think anyone in the metro area, anyone really wanting to really expand their business is going to have to do that, you know. And I think people are going to lose this ego. At the end of the day, we sell hair product, we cut hair, we're not saving lives. Make it look good and feel really good, so they can go out and try and look up. But that's about it, right? I mean, and I think some people take themselves way too seriously. And the brands, some of the brands need to get original too. Like seeing like the likes of some of the original brands that are out there who do exactly what they do really, really well, and then just get copycat brands, and I just think it's pathetic, you know.
Absolutely.
I think it's stupid. I mean, if you really any brand is sold as far as a brand, then you should be able to stand on your own two legs.
Exactly.
And develop your own stuff without having to mimic anyone else's things.
Yep.
But as I say, flattery is the
I know exactly.
Limitation is the performance form of flattery, so it's like,
well, that's something which, I mean, has happened to us as well, and it's I didn't take it well. I don't take stuff like that well, and it's, I know it's like I'm like what the? And then it's funny because you just get one other person who goes, nah, that's sweet, like it's not the same level, nothing, and I'm like, all right, okay, cool. But yeah, it's pretty funny, like what you were saying there about you and Dan. I'm like, Do you ever like sit back in the house or something and go, holy shit, my product is literally all over the world?
No, we do. The moment for me that it really kind of tripped me out, and this is going to sound really bad, but I was in Amsterdam.
Yeah, nice.
I
wonder why it tripped you out.
I was feeling pretty good. And I walked past a barbershop at like 12 at night, and there's a King Brown logo.
Oh, that's so sick.
And I was off with the fairies, and I just thought that was the best thing that I'd ever seen in my life. And I was just like, oh my god, this is like phenomenal. I'm on the other side of the world, and the only bummer was I didn't have my wife and my kids sort of there to sort of comment it. Probably they shouldn't have been there at that point.
Yeah, I was going to say, you may have been a little bit more sober than me.
But definitely, look, I mean, we drive along, and I talk to a lot of friends and people, and I meet people, and as you do, what do you do for work? Oh, I own a hair product company, it's King. Oh yes, it's a cool feeling. Don't want to get complacent by that.
100%.
That to me is just a building block.
Yep.
We just keep going. I mean, we want King Brown. King Brown should just roll off the tongue like when you refer to speedos and stuff, you know, like, and it's just that's what it is. It's we want to be that product for everyone.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
that's really cool.
We don't want to segregate, you know. We want to incorporate and get everyone in. Don't care your gender, your orientation, like your age. If you got hair and you want to look good, then that's what we want to make sure. We will hope that we can cater for you, you know. So, but anyway, it's like I said. Hopefully, you guys are excited with this new stuff we've got coming out this year. And
absolutely.
We've got three projects coming out this year, which is big for us. We normally have one every 12 months.
Yep.
So 3 in 1 year is quite a big deal for us. So.
Busy boy.
I love
it. I love it. No, that's superb. I reckon we should definitely end on that because that's superb. So, mate, thank you again for being here. I know you're flat out, so no, it's perfect. Thank you for listening, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Legend, mate. See what I mean? You can just get yapping for ages.
Oh, the time goes, mate.
It's not.
Time just goes that quick, I
was like.